Hello, it's Gem Games here once again, and in this episode we are going to create a physical animation profile to the zombies and create the code for the physical animation. So when we shoot the zombie, for example, to the hand or the arm will swing a little bit, and yeah, so the game will look a lot better as that. So yeah, let's get started. First, we want to go to the enemy folder and to the zombie 1, and we want to find the zombie 1 physics asset. So zombie 1 physics new. Okay, one thing that I noticed that we didn't do on the last episodes is we didn't add collision to the physics bodies. So let's do it now. And what I mean by that is now all these, I will show you if we simulate, all these bodies can pass through themselves like this. You can see legs can pass through each other and so on. So let's fix that quickly. That is as simple as, let's first start with the feet. So let's select the feet. Let's select this and keep the control pressed and select this. Now the upper legs and now the middle part here, head, upper arms and hands. We want to select like every other, because if we select everyone, all of these will collide with each other and it will look bad. I will actually show you quickly. Let's select these hands. Let's make it simulate. These hands start to vibrate and stuff like that. Okay, they didn't do much now, but they can get super laggy. But yeah, so we want to select every other. So I will deselect this and this. So now we, stupid me. Okay, now I have all of them selected again. Now we want to go to here and enable collision. Now if we unselect all of these and we click just on one body like this, you can see they are, every other is like some shade of purple and every other is gray. So you can see they are, the collision is enabled, and I can actually show you that it works. Now, for example, the legs cannot go through each other anymore. See, the other leg will start to move the other leg away because they have collision now. Okay, so yeah, let's start with the physical animation profile. So here we have these profiles. If you cannot see this, you want to go to the Windows and check that you have these profiles enabled. Okay, here, current profile, we want to click it and press new. Okay, now let's click it again and let's click the rename. Okay, let's delete the text and call this hit with capital H, like that. Now, here we can see when we click this, what bones are affected by this profile. And we have no bones here yet. So what we want to do now, we want to select the hip bones. We basically want to select every other bone than the legs. We don't want to use the legs. So let's select all of these upper body bones. Like that. Okay? Leave the legs alone. Now, let's click this, assign the selected bodies to the current physical animation profile. Okay? Now, if we click from here and deselect all, and we click this search thing, it will show that we have selected all these. Okay, now what we want to do here, we want to click this so we have all these selected and scroll down. Here we have this physical animation thing, and we have orientation strength and angular velocity strength. These are the values that we have to adjust mostly. I will show you soon. On one bone we will have to adjust more, but yeah. So the first thing what we want, oh, it's lacking so much. I'm checking my other project. What have I done there? Okay, so first we want to select all the. This is annoying. Why is this lagging so much? Okay, so we want to select all T-bones. So the head, the neck, this is the spine, spine 1, and spine. All of these. Now let's change the orientation strength to 200 and angular velocity strength to 200. You can later on adjust these however you want, but let's first make them like that. Okay. Now what we want to do is let's select both of these hands and arms. Okay. Like that. Let's make the orientation strength 100 and angular velocity strength 100. Like that. Okay, the next thing what we want to do is we want to check how the animation looks now. So let's select this bone, spine, bone. If we select the hip and we press simulate selected, it will simulate the whole body because the hip is basically the root bone in this Mixamo skeleton. So let's select one bone under it, or over, or however you say. One bone under here in the hierarchy, so the spine. Now let's select simulate selected. You can see only the top body gets simulated. Now you can see this is basically, these are the parts that will be affected by our physical animation. So if we shoot to the hand, it will look something like this, not this strong, but something like this. And one thing what we want to do here, because the zombie is now pretty like, he's leaning where if we like move him to here, he will not get back up. So we will have to adjust one thing. So let's select the head bone. Here we have this is local simulation. We want to uncheck it, so make it false. So what this will try to do now is when all these are true, it will basically the bone will be, how do I explain it? So let's explain it this way. So when it's not true, when it's false, this bone will try to keep its place like where it is normally. So if we make this head not local simulation and we make this position strength to 25,000, okay. Now we select the spine bone and simulate selected. Now if we move this, you can see the head is trying to keep its position on the top. So it will make this, the whole upper body be more like, how do I say it, like, it is not like wiggling around that much, you know. So the head will try to keep its position, even the other parts of the top body are affected by the physical animation. So yeah, you can adjust these later however you want, but let's leave them now like this. Okay, so yeah, okay, let's save all, and now let's go to the first person map. And what we want to do now is we want to go to the blueprints folder, to the BB first person character. Let's open it. And we want to go to the shoot, hit, get, material or actor. Okay. And here, what we want to do is here, take damage here on the top part. We have now this bone name and impact point. we actually want to do a little change here. Let's double click this. It will open the BP enemy main and the take damage function. Let's go to the start of it. Let's click here. Let's delete the impact point and bone name. Actually, let's leave. Yeah, we can delete. Yeah, sorry. And let's add a new one. Let's call it hit. Let's change the variable type to hit results like this. Okay. And now we can move it up a little bit. Let's move it there under the knife. Under the amount. Like that. And so what we want to do here now is I'll have to check. So yeah, let's move this take damage input, or this. Let's move it further here. Yeah, let's move all these further down. Let's add some reroutes, like always. That like, yeah, it's good. Okay, let's add another reroute to here. Something like that. Okay, we can do it like that. Another there. Okay, so now we have to connect something to this bone name and to this impact point. So let's get this hit. And actually, we have to move this amount to here to the start. Let's get this hit and let's promote it to a local variable. Let's add a reroute. Let's call that local variable. Let's call it hit. Actually, let's call it hit result. Let's split it. Let's connect it. Now let's get the hit bone name and connect it to the bone name. Actually, let's delete this reroute from here. Let's connect the hit bone name, and impact point. Let's get the impact point from impact point like that. Okay, let's add a reroute here. Okay, like that. Let's compile. Let's save all. Yeah. Now, what we want to do here is we want to go back to the BP first person character. And now we have these here. So what we want to do here now is we want to cut these links from the impact point and from the bone name. So Alt and left click. Now we have this hit here. So let's scroll down to the local variables. We have this hit results. Let's get it. Let's connect it to the hit. So now we have all the hit variables there on the take damage function on the BP enemy main, because we will need some other that we had before. Okay, let's compile. Let's save. So now let's create the physical animation component. So let's go to the first person map. Let's go to the components. Let's create a new blueprint class. Actor component. Okay, let's call this BPC physical animation component. Okay, let's open it. And what we want to do here now is on event begin play, we can delete this tick now. Here on event begin play, we want to first let's try get pawn. Get owner components get owner like this. Okay. And from the return value, we want to add what? Okay. let's just right click from here and add. Oh, what? Okay, let's try again. Let's uncheck the context sensitive. So physical animation. Okay, now I'm. What? Okay, sorry, I'm so stupid. What we want to do here is we want to add actor, add component by class. Sorry, yeah. Okay, and we want to connect this get owner to the target, and the class should be physical animation component, not the BBC physical animation component, but the physical animation component. Okay. So yeah. Now what we want to do, we want to get from the return value and we want to promote it to a variable. And we want to call this variable physical anim component ref. Something like that. Now after that we want to get owner again. And we want to get to enemy main. And we want to get the mesh from there. So get mesh. Character get mesh. Now we want to promote it to a variable. Let's call it just mesh. And now we want to get the physical animation component ref. And we want to set skeletal mesh component like this. And we want to set this mesh to the skeletal mesh component like that. Okay, that's our begin play. Let's compile, let's save. And the next thing, what we want to do is we actually want to create a new custom event. Let's leave some space here in between. We'll add some things there. So let's go a little bit down. Let's create a custom event. Let's call this hit reaction, for example. Here, let's add an input and let's set the type, name to hit and the variable type to hit results like that. Let's promote it to a variable from the start. Let's just call it, let's actually call it hit results like that. Now what we want to do after this, we want to set component tick enabled. Let's make it enabled. Okay. Now let's get our event tick, because we will add some things to this event tick that we don't want to be playing all the time. We just want to start them when this hit reaction is called. So let's, yeah, like that. And now we also want to click this class defaults here, and we want to make this start with tick enabled false, like that. Let's compile, let's save. So after that, what we want to do, we want to actually create a new variable. Let's call it time remaining. And let's make it float. And let's set it to 1. I will explain you soon how this all works. Let's set it to 1. After that, what we want to do, we want to get the physical animation component reference. And we want to apply physical animation profile below, this one. Okay, the body name will be spine. Okay, our hips bone is basically the root bone, but we don't want to use that because it will add some glitches. It will glitch out sometimes if you simulate from hips, but not from the. Yeah, I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, it's better to use the spine bone here because we are only trying to. Sorry, we are only trying to simulate the top part of the body. So yeah. And now the profile name will be the hit, the name that we selected, like I will show you. Let's move this animation here. Let's go to the physics asset. Here we have this current profile hit. We want to select that name. Okay, and we want to include self. I'm actually not sure about that. Let's leave it true. Yeah, let's include self. After that, what we want to do, we want to get the mesh, and we want to set all bodies below simulate physics, like that. Not that one. No. Below. Set all bodies below simulate physics. Yeah. Not set all bodies to simulate physics. Now, from here, in bone name, we want to make literal name like this. Now let's write the spine like that, and new simulate true like that. Okay, compile and save just to be sure. And the next thing what we want to do here is we want to get the mesh, and we want to add impulse, and now we have to do some little calculations here. We want to get the hit results. We want to split it. Let's actually move this even further. Before we use the hit results impact point, okay? But I actually found a better way of doing this. So let's get the hit results trace end, and let's minus the hit results trace start from it. Let's normalize it. Let's align these. Let's actually move this even further. And from here, let's multiply. Let's connect it to the impulse first. And let's change this pin to convert pin to float single precision, like that. Let's make this value like 5000 first. Okay, let's actually align them again. And now the bone name we want to get from there, and we want to select. And now we want to get from the hit bone name, so the top one, and we want to check if it's equal. If it's equal to hips, or whatever your root bone is called. If it's equal to hips, then we want to change it to spine, because simulating the hips bone here basically makes the whole body ragdoll, so we don't want to do it like that. Now let's add a reroute to here. Let's connect to the false name. So if the hit bone name is hips, then we want to change it to spine, and if it's not, then it is what it is, you know. And the velocity change, let's make it like that. Okay. So let's compile, let's save. Let's go to the pp enemy main. And here we have all these sorry, not all these, but this return node here on the if the zombie is not dead. So here the return node that says dead false. Okay, let's move it a little bit further. And now let's add the PPC physical animation component to this zombie. Now let's get from it, and we want to hit reaction and connect it to the return node. Let's connect this to the false. Okay, let's move this a little bit further. And now we want to connect the hit variable, hit results local variable to here. Let's save, compile, save. Let's actually try and see how this looks now. This still is missing some things, but yeah, let's try. So zombies should start doing some kind of physical animation when we shoot them, but okay, as you can see, they did something. If we, for example, shoot to the hand, okay, they are glitching, and that's because we haven't completed the code yet. But yeah, the physical animation at least is working. So how we want to make that work like it is supposed to work? So let's go back to the PPC physical animation. Here on the event tick, what we want to do now is first we want to set the time remaining. Let's connect it to here. Let's leave some space here. And we actually want to first, let's multiply this delta seconds by like 0.1, something like that. And now let's get a finterp2 node. Let's connect the delta seconds to the delta time, like that. And now from here, let's get a minus. We want to minus this little value from there. Let's connect it back to the time remaining. Okay. And the interrupt speed, let's make it like maybe 1. I think. Yeah, I think it's like that. Yeah. And the current is the time remaining. Let's add a little reroute. So what this is basically trying to do, it is interrupting the time remaining value, trying to get it to 0. So basically, if it's 1, it will take 1 second to get to the 0. Okay, and it will basically set the variable according to that. And this is just so we delete a little, like 10% of that. Like we delete a super small amount, so it actually hits the 0. Okay, and after that, what we want to do is let's get the less equal, and let's check if it's 0 or less. Let's add a branch. Okay, and if it is less or equal to 0, let's set the time remaining actually to 0. Yeah. After that, what we want to do, we want to get the mesh, and we want to set all bodies below simulate physics like this. And new simulate false. And in bone name, let's get it literal, make literal name. Let's call it spine. So the same bone as our that we are using here. Okay? And simulate false like that. And after that we want to set component tick enabled and false. Okay, let's actually move this hit reaction a little bit further down, and also this event tick. Actually, not that much because we will have to add the false also to here. The false will be if the time remaining has not hit the 0 yet. Then what we want to do, we want to get the mesh. We want to set all bodies below physics blend weight. So this one. Let's connect this to the false. Let's add a free route, like always. And in bone name, we want to make literal name. Let's make it spine. And physics blend weight, let's make the time remaining. So, let's try and see if it works. After that I will explain how everything works. Let's save. So let's see. If we shoot to the hand. Oh, if I can shoot without missing it. Let's try the other zombie. Okay, this is pretty hard. But as you can see, if I shoot to the hand, it will swing. And also if I shoot to the head, you can see now we have this nice physical animation happening on the impact when we shoot the zombie. And you can of course adjust it however you want, but that's good enough for me, at least for now. And if you're thinking why the zombies despawn after you kill them, it's because we haven't set the ragdoll profile yet. Because of that, the game will glitch, and we will actually set it on the next episode. But now, like I promised, I will explain quickly how everything works. So here on the BP first person character, we just pass the hit results to the take damage, so to the BP enemy main. And here we don't have anything to explain, but here either. Okay, so we are basically just calling the hit reaction event from here. And now, here on the BBC physical animation component, on the event begin play, first we are trying to get the owner, so basically the blueprint that has this component. After that, we are adding the physical animation component to that. Okay, and we are promoting it to a variable, and here we are just casting to PP enemy main and promoting the mesh to a variable, and after that we are basically setting the mesh, that PP enemy main mesh, to work with that physical animation component. Okay, and here on the hit reaction we are just promoting this hit results, and we will set the tick enable, so this will start to run, this event tick. And after that we will set this time remaining to 1, so we basically want the physical animation to run for 1 second. Okay, and now we are applying the hit profile to the spine and below. After that, we are setting all those same bones to simulate. And here, what we are doing is we are getting the bone name. If it's hips, we want to change it to spine because the hips will basically make the whole mesh to simulate physics, so it will start ragdoll. This is just a better way of doing this because now it checks basically gets the vector of the bullet trail or where the bullet comes and checks at the impulse by that rotation. So if zombie is facing me and I'm shooting him to the head, he will like fall straight backwards. And because before with the hit results impact point, when we shoot the zombie, when the zombie is facing us and we're facing the zombie, and if we shoot him to the right side of the head, the zombie will get the vector from the impact point, so the zombie will fall to the left. So it's not realistic that way. So this is a lot better. And this will just normalize the value, and this will multiply. This is the force basically. How much we want the zombie to. How strong we want the impulse to be, you know. And here on the event tick, we are basically, like I told you before, we are basically this is basically a timer, this time remaining variable. When the event tick starts to tick, the timer starts and it will try to go from 1 to 0. Okay, and when it's not yet on 0, then we want to change the blend weight of the physical animation according to that. When it's 1, it's fully animated, and when it's 0, so when it goes like when the time after like 1 second, it will be 0. The blend weight is 0, so the physical animation is like not playing at all. So this will just smoothly blend it back to the normal animation. And when it hits the 0, it will actually set it back to 0 because it can be less than 0 here because of this thing. So this is just to be sure. We will make the physical animation not play anymore. And also we will set tick not be ticking, you know. Sorry, I'm not good at explaining things. But yeah, I think that was all for this video. If you like what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. Yeah, hope you have a great day and see you in the next one. Bye.